Welcome everybody to Salem, Sanctum. Today our guest is Carlos. Introduction.
Hello guys, my name is Carlos. I come here to Emmy Lizard School and I'm ready here to talk to Salem about any topic he wants to talk about, no filter and nothing.
Alright, let's go. Obviously there's a tragic event that took place yesterday. Our favorite conservative commentator, Charlie Kirk, unfortunately got his jugular vein exploded by a sniper bullet. What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's pretty tragic, honestly. He was a controversial figure, to say the least. But despite like the differences that many people may have had with him, I don't think someone ever deserves to die for their opinion, right? Especially political. He hasn't. It's not like he did anything. It's not like he's like oppressed anyone or nothing. He was just like exercising his freedom of speech and saying his opinion. And so I think it is very tragic that he died for that. And I find it quite sad that there are lots of people celebrating the death of a man. Someone who was a father to two daughters and a husband to a wife, and now those people won't have him for the rest of their lives. So I think it's quite a tragic event, to say the least.
Yeah, and I mean, like at the end of the day, like regardless of whatever political opinions you have, it was pretty brutal the way he died. You know what I'm saying?
It was. If I hear right, I'm pretty sure the bullet like ricocheted from his bulletproof vest up to his like up here, right?
Yeah.
And so he went out like instantly, and his two daughters were there witnessing it.
Yeah.
And
that's another.
It's so graphic, honestly.
Yeah, and it's like I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy to have like in front of their two daughters, man.
Exactly. It's quite a tragic scene.
Yeah.
To say the least. I never wish death upon nobody.
Yeah.
No matter like the circumstances.
Yeah.
But it kind of raises the question, like, who did this and
that's
who planned this, right?
Yeah. It feels a little fishy as death. Like I don't want to get all conspiratorial so recent to his passing, but seems a little. There's a lot of stuff happening on the same day. Like there's a school shooting right after Israel bombed 6 countries that day. I don't condone any conspiracy theories of the like, but what I'm seeing online, not my own words, guys, not my own words whatsoever. But if you think about it, like there was a video of Charlie Kirk questioning Israel. Israel,
yeah.
48 hours before with Ben Shapiro. Our boy Benny. Our boy Benny.
I heard that Charlie Kirk had fear of of criticizing Israel as well.
Yeah.
And when he started to really come out about that, he
got murked straight away. It's like if we put ourselves in the shoes of like the Israeli government, right? Like we're not sure about Charlie Kirk if he's as loyal as we thought he was before, and we just bombed 6 countries. Is it really that bad of a trade-off if we cut off that source of propaganda to cover up the heinous crimes that we committed that day? I mean, if we look at like cost-benefit analysis, if you will, if I was in their position, if I was completely amoral and I didn't really care about human life, which is, I don't think they do very much. I might have cut off that source. I might have looked at the benefits and, you know what I'm saying? Like, they haven't found the killer yet.
No, I heard they did arrest like a certain someone, but like you, I'm not a conspiracy theorist of any kind, but I've heard it is a cover-up, right?
Yeah.
And obviously, I take everything with a grain of salt, but I find it interesting because this man apparently was on a roof. I don't know what weapon they used, right? I don't believe, but the thing about the sniper though is it's a 50 cal, I believe, like a sniper would be something high up there.
Yeah.
And I don't think it would leave such a tiny hole or such a tiny mark, and something so precise from that far, right, to hit the exact spot. I think it's quite interesting, to say the least.
Seems like Mossad.
And obviously, I'm not the one for conspiracies, but I find it interesting. I heard the shooter was an ex-military, but don't quote me on that. It's just from what I've heard. I'm still learning about the situation.
pretty sure you're talking about that old man they arrested, right?
Yeah.
Apparently he wasn't the killer. Apparently they released him shortly thereafter.
Actually.
Yeah. So the killer's still at large. They don't know who the guy is. Also, like, we definitely know the guy had at least some sort of military experience, because
for sure.
the whole thing being planned out with, like, he had escape route, you know, the type of weapon used, the precision to which he shot at Kirk. Yeah.
It's way too methodical.
It just smells of spying agencies.
Spying agency or some sort of setup.
Yeah,
for sure.
100%.
Yeah, and it interests me because from what I remember, you know, Kirk was starting to challenge the Epstein files, and he was really starting to question Trump on it, and telling him to come out with it. And from what I'm seeing, you know, they're starting to have stuff come out with the Epstein files as of yesterday. But we have so many other events going on right now that I feel like the media is covering and not the files.
Yeah, 100%. And I also think that this, like, to add on to that, this is 100, like, regardless if this was like a spy agency or just some rogue person, this was definitely a tool to divide people. You have people on the right who are now, like, scared that they'll be killed for their political views. You have people on the left celebrating this, which is, in my opinion, a kind of bad, like, unrespectable and honestly heinous thing to do. Like, regardless of what you thought of the guy, he might have supported the killing of other people, but he wasn't the one killing them himself.
Exactly.
So it's like, I think you need to look at the bigger picture here. What are they trying to do? Like, I saw this guy online. He said Charlie Kirk was in the crosshairs, but America was a target. Like, they're trying to divide the country.
Oh, for sure.
It's Charlie Kirk was simply a pawn in this game, if you will.
Yeah, definitely. You know, that's what it feels like it's been around. You know, just the whole world lately, that they want such division between societies, between ethnicities, political groups, you name it. You know, we see, you know, like you said, you know, the right wing, they're mourning the death of Charlie Kirk, and they're scared. But the left, they're celebrating. I find it kind of ironic that, you know, liberals who, you know, care for the morality of people are celebrating the death now, right?
Yeah.
And so I think we really need to take this in consideration, and not separate from one another because of this, but come together to really find where the problem is in this. You know, it's quite heartbreaking to see, you know, such a separation between all of us because of the death of this man.
Yeah.
And so I think, like, the death of Charlie Kirk has made us realize so many issues that we have in society right now, or even just the world. You know.
Yeah. And I feel like it kind of, I don't know if exposed is the right term for this, but it kind of, like, showed a lot of people's true colors when it comes to serious topics like this.
It does.
Like, a lot of people who you think would be, like, sympathetic or empathetic to the cause or to such a tragic event didn't care whatsoever because it was the person on the other side. It wasn't one of their own.
Exactly.
And it's kind of like people should, like, morality needs to be a standard applied to everybody. You can't just pick and choose who you want to apply a certain set of morals to. That's not the right way to go.
Exactly, you know, and that's what's really, you know, upsetting. One of the many upsetting things about the situation, you know. I was talking with some people the other day who I thought would really be sympathetic with the family and everything, but they were celebrating for the death. They're like, you know, they were praying on his downfall. And I find it quite upsetting, you know. I feel like part of change in society is for all of us to have those morals and to not, like you said, pick and choose who we want to forgive and who to accept, you know. He's a human at the end of the day. He was only like 32 years old. He's 31.
31.
It's
He was a young
insane.
guy.
He was really young. Just started to have a family. He's subject to change with his opinions, with how he is as a person. I don't think death is ever the right answer or choice for this, and to be celebrated for.
And such like it was like a public execution. It was bad.
It was. It's just like, you know, a part of history it reminds me of is Franz Ferdinand or JFK.
Yeah.
When they got shot out in public, right? And it really did separate a bunch of people. And I feel like we kind of are living in a part of history where we're seeing this again.
Yeah.
And I feel like as the world, you know, we need to look back in history and realize where we went wrong and try to fix that in today's age.
I think a big problem with it too is like how fast the news cycle is. Like if you look at like the wider context, you can kind of see that this is kind of like what they're doing, whatever the forces may be, right? Whether it just be the general public or certain a deep state, if you will.
Right.
It feels like they're killing people on both sides to try and sow that hate. Like you remember 3 months ago when that Democratic lawmaker got shot in her home?
Yeah.
Those families. It's like we forgot about that. This might be a retaliation for something like that.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like it really makes you question like who's behind all this? Who's pulling the strings?
I definitely do feel, not like to be a conspiracy theorist, but I definitely feel like it is someone like in the higher ups for sure, you know, trying to play like what's the word, you know, like make a play out of this and like pick and choose what to happen, right? Exactly. And it's quite upsetting, you know, especially with how fast these news come and go. One day we find out about a certain political member dying for a certain cause, the next we find another, and we just look over all these issues and we're not really taking time to take it in and learn from it or anything, you know. Even like a few days ago, you heard about the stabbing of the Ukrainian girl?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like that is something that happened and we just went over so quick and we're not realizing, you know, the bigger issue of society and the hate that we have.
Yeah.
And so I feel like we really need to take a step back. But at the same time, I feel like whoever's controlling the media is purposely doing this. Purposely
100%.
just pushing and pushing and pushing these things, come and go.
Would you say they're like trying to test their limits? Like at what point will society revolt against them?
I feel like we've already seen that in Nepal.
Yeah.
I feel like we've already seen that.
Well, with Nepal, they're like taking politicians out of their homes
And throwing them in the water,
river, everything.
burning all the buildings. I feel like we're starting to see a rebellion in some societies.
People are waking up.
But that's the thing, you know, we're not seeing media coverage of this at all.
Yeah.
And I feel like places like America are scared to let their people see that because they'll get ideas to overthrow and have like another civil war, so to speak, happen and occur, right? And so I feel like the media, like you said, is really pushing the limits and testing and picking and choosing what they want their people to see and consume to either pick a side or just to divide us.
Yeah, and I also feel like these political divides that are a little futile too. Like, can you really name a single political party who's improved our society in the last 20 years?
Exactly. I feel like while they claim and want to fix one thing, it leads to another problem. They're not coming together to work together and fix all these problems that we have with morals, society, economics, all of that, you know? It feels like no matter what spectrum you go for, there's always going to be wrong. And it's upsetting.
Yeah.
It feels like there's no right choice at the end of the day because it feels like there's just hate among us all.
Yeah. And it also feels like the people themselves, they have no say in this. It feels like every election now, like the people have less and less of a voice, and it's more just regurgitated political talking points, like societal, not necessarily societal, like more cultural issues, all these things just sowing divide. Nobody now, when people go in debates, they don't talk about why they should be the prime minister or why they should be the premier. They talk about why the other guy shouldn't be.
Exactly. We're not. You're right. Like, you know, it's hard to see. It feels like we're putting each other down and not showing what we have to stand for. You know, when Trump was running, he wasn't saying anything. He would say a little bit of what he wanted to do, but a lot of time he was taking down other people. Yeah. Same with all the people running. You know, it feels like they're all just, you know, I feel like none of them have something good going for them these days. You know, they just want that power for whatever their self-interest desire, and it's a scary thing.
Yeah. And it feels like they're getting more and more power each day. Like, can anybody even stop like Trump in any of his policies? He has his entire inner circle are all sock puppets who do whatever he wants.
It really does feel like we're losing the right of law.
Yeah.
It really does feel like that, you know. We don't have the politicians facing the consequences for the actions that they have put. War crimes, hate against people, anything you name it. It feels like it gets media coverage, but nothing happens. And they go on their day with it.
Yeah. Like I honestly, I don't think there's a single politician out there today who doesn't have the most twisted past of anybody in society. I feel like, but I mean, also, like, if you were a good person, would you really want to go into politics?
I feel like no. Me personally, like, although I do want to change the world, and help the world in that sense. I feel like going into politics would twist me in some sort of way, corrupt me somehow, so to speak. You know, it's not something that I would want to be doing. I'd be wanting to, you know, make organizations funded not by the government but by myself and with help of people to help the world instead of the government. Because it only like seeing how like the current state of all these like politics are, I would not want to get involved in a single bit.
It's like there's definitely like a certain type of person who goes into politics. Like the profession has such a bad reputation. It's like even the few good people who do go into it, they never really get far.
They never do. Because I feel like a lot of the time, these evil politicians that are trying to run, they really do manipulate the mass. You know, they claim they're running to fix these certain principles and agendas or whatever it may be, but they never follow through with it. They're playing with the emotions. Take a look at Hitler. Not saying that anyone's like Hitler, but because he's a prime example. You know, when he was running, he was manipulating the mass, saying that he would fulfill certain things, but when he came into seeing, he didn't fulfill any of that. And I feel like that's something that we're seeing with everyone nowadays, in every country. And so it's very difficult and scary to want to get involved with politics and if you want to run for prime minister or president, it's a scary thing to do.
You also have that like fear of death. Like, you know, in Mexico, how many like presidential candidates were like murked by the cartel?
They always get murked by the cartel because, you know, it's crazy. The cartel, you know, they run that place. You know, they're the government pretty much, and they bribe and anybody and steal. And the people who are in, like a part of the government usually work with the cartel or are bribed by them. And so I feel like we're really starting to see how corrupt society has become as a whole. There's very few places and countries where I truly believe that, you know, it is like not corrupt or anything. You know, it's very hard to tell.
Well, I mean, on that point of like political division, what are your thoughts about Alberta separatism? That's been a big topic over the past couple of months.
It's interesting, you know. I find it interesting to see both sides of the spectrum on why people do and don't want it. I'm more in the center, leaning to no, for various reasons, you know. I think if we were to separate, let's say tomorrow, first of all, we would not be prepared. Say we became our own country, we would have no military, we would have nothing going for us. We would be weak. Say we join the U.S., well, now we're in the control of Trump. We're gonna have so many issues going on with us. Think about the healthcare. We won't have good healthcare anymore. The taxes are gonna be iffy. The tariffs, we're gonna be a big enemy. I don't think it's a smart choice. Rather than dividing and trying to run, I think Canada needs to all come together and work towards the problems that we face. And it's a tricky issue, but I'm not really with the separatism. But on the other side, I do see why people would want it. You know, they're tired of how Canada has been run these years, and they want to become independent and pursue their self-interest and goals, which I also do respect that side of the spectrum as well, right? I just feel that, you know, as a province and a country, we need to work together towards those goals, because the separatism is only going to cause more division, which they want.
Most likely process here? Yeah, I would say on the topic of Alberta separatism, I can definitely see the points for why somebody would like it. But at the end of the day, like when you look at, once again, a cost-benefit analysis, it's not. I just don't see a path for Alberta to thrive and succeed through the route of separatism. I think, I really do think if Alberta's like the fastest growing province in the country, right? I feel like eventually the federal government will have to recognize that we need more of a say. And I think that's the route to go down. I think the route to go down is we push for more representation in Ottawa. We push for more representation when it comes to deciding our own affairs without necessarily seceding from the Dominion.
I truly do think that as well. You know, that's a really good way to look at it and seek, right? We are, like, I believe, one of the strongest provinces in Canada. You know, we have all that oil. We bring in so much revenue, trade. You know, Canada wouldn't be Canada without us. It's just that we're not recognized yet. And although Albertans have been pushing, I just don't think it's hard enough. You know, so like you said, you know, they really do have to continue to seek for that recognition and to push. And like you said, eventually they will realize, you know, where we stand. I don't know what we have to do to reach that point. I don't know if it's not to cooperate with the federal government. I don't know if it's to threaten anything, but whatever it takes, as long as it is morally correct, I think Alberta should push for it.
So it's one of our suggestions that we got from one of our viewers. Do you know what the Arab Spring is?
I've heard an itty bitty of it, but I'm really not educated on it.
I just want to know, like, what do you know of it right now? So maybe you can.
From what I remember, because I only remember reading a bit of it, and my memory is very faint. But if I'm right, isn't it a bunch of Arab countries like rising and rebelling against the government, or am I mistaken?
Well, yeah, that's the portrayal of it. The Arab Spring, obviously, I can't speak for every individual country because I'm not well versed in, like, say, Iraqi politics or something like that, right? But when it comes to countries like Libya and Syria, it was more like violent uprisings,
Right.
In an attempt to overthrow the governments there. And so basically the gist of it, right? It starts in Tunisia. There's a guy fed up with the government, and he burns himself alive in protest.
Wow.
Yeah. So the Arab Spring starts in Tunisia, right?
Okay.
And everybody's like, well, that's kind of messed up. What's going on, right? But it quickly evolved from political protest to armed rebellion and militias.
Also,
and
it really
killing.
did escalate.
Yeah, it
Just like
within
that.
a week, right? And so when it comes to, I'll speak on Libya because I'm from there, right? Comes to Libya, these were very, very violent and very extremist people who were uprising, right? And they didn't have that much support, right?
Right.
So they started off in the Benghazi, so it's like right next to Egypt, it's like the most eastern city in the country, right?
Okay.
And they have something called the National Transitional Council. So these are people from that area who are living like Britain, Canada, America, and they're like, hey, we want to be recognized as the new government, even though the old government's still there.
Right.
And so they start an armed rebellion, but it's like crushed very quickly. Like there's groups across the country who are rebelling, but they don't have there's not a lot of them. Like this is a very isolated, it's a very vocal minority of people who actually want this change, right? And so as the country's under, Muhammad Gaddafi is.
I believe so. I might.
Yeah, he was the old leader of Libya.
Okay.
So his forces are like most people, like 80%, I'd say, they support Muammar Gaddafi. It's not like the country under him was good. It was stable. We had no debt. All these things. And so as these last remnants are in Benghazi, the city, they go to the United States. They go to the UN, and they start making up, you know what a hoax is, right?
Yeah.
They start making up this hoax, saying that Muammar Gaddafi is gonna try and like kill them all, like genocide. So
The ones that are uprising.
yeah, the ones that are uprising, they're saying that they're gonna be genocided by the old government.
Okay.
And so the rest of the world's like, oh no. They let's give the benefit of the doubt to most of these countries. They don't know exactly what's going on.
Right.
So like, oh, it's a terrible thing, all these things, even though it's like, just to give you an idea of who these like protesters were, right? And in one of these protests, there was a black police officer.
Right.
Libya has a large black, like half the country's like black.
Right.
And these protesters are very racist people.
Are they?
Very, very racist. Misrata. I'll tell you another story about the whole racism thing, but they lynched him and then hung him underneath the bridge.
All because he's black?
Because he's black.
And because he's an officer as well, or was it like a mix of both?
There's other officers that no.
Just 'cause he's black.
They hung him specifically because he's black under the bridge.
And so this rebellion against the government that they don't like, was it a dictatorship?
Well, dictatorship by definition. Like, Muammar Gaddafi was leader since 1969,
Right.
and this rebellion was in 2011.
Okay.
But the country's doing well.
It was
Like
thriving.
there wasn't, yeah, it was thriving. There wasn't any reason to do it. You know, if you look into the history, there's a whole thing with Israel. Libya was accused of like funding terror throughout the 90s and 2000s, all that thing. Even though later on, after we realized that the Mossad,
I believe so.
like the Israeli intelligence
Yeah,
agency, they implanted a machine. It was called the operation is called Operation Trojan Horse.
I've heard of that.
Operation Trojan Horse, where it was a fake device that transmitted like terrorist bots across the area. So it seemed like it was coming from there.
Alright, I've heard of that.
Yeah. And so now the NATO comes in, and 9 months of bombing.
Damn.
9 months.
That's a
Like the
lot.
hospital I was like, this isn't like military targets. They're bombs.
It's just the people.
It's like terror.
It is.
Like the hospital I was born in doesn't stand anymore.
Really?
It's gone. It was bombed. It
Due
was
to the
bombed.
terrorism. Or not terrorism, my bad. The bombing.
Yeah, the bomb. Yeah, it was against the civilian population. These were against the people of Libya to like scare them into submission. Because these protests, this isn't really conspiratorial. Like, this is a well-known fact. These are all funded by, like, you know, the U.S., Israel, France, these kind of things, because they didn't want the old government in power, because the old government wasn't willing to like give up their natural resources. And so, like, the bombing does also target militaries. Like, the issue with the timing of the bombing is that it was right after the financial crisis in 2008, and so Libya was in a weakened state. So money was diverted from the military to help with the housing market, to build more homes, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So Libya's military was left in a weakened state, so that they couldn't really fight back.
Exactly.
Right? And so now that the military is crumbling, these protesters sweep across the country. And so there's this central city called Misrata, okay?
Okay.
And these are like not all of them. Most of these people, they're the most racist people.
Okay.
So there's this. So the north, just to understand the geography, the north of Libya is Arab.
Right.
The south of Libya is like mostly black. But there's one like black majority, or there was one black majority city in Libya. It's called Tawarqa. Okay, right underneath Misrata. And they're pro-Gaddafi because, you know, he created them all.
Right.
So after the government crumbled, what do the people of Misrata do?
Did they
They killed everybody there.
Yeah.
Every single person. And they all, the people who survived, they got sent as refugees. To this day, they live in little cells in the capital.
Little cells. Like prison cells. But what's their excuse for that? Prison or like
Their
war?
excuse for that is that they were loyal to the other government.
That's never right though.
Yes, like it's never right, and that's not. They're very racist people. They're like out of national. Like they don't like black people. There's other cities who are loyal to the old government. They didn't do the same thing. It's because they're black.
It's very targeted, huh?
Yeah.
And so is that what like the uprising was? It was like a more of a racist like rebel?
No, that's not what the uprising was about. That's just the personal beliefs of the people who were in that.
Oh, okay.
Uprising was about, they want to make the country more Western. They want to do all these things. They want to discard their old culture. They want to be more American, that kind of thing.
Right. It sounds interesting. You know, I do need to some more education on this topic.
It's real, like, that's
Sounds like
what, yeah.
Sounds like a big rabbit hole.
It's a huge rabbit hole. It might lead these places where it's not socially acceptable to talk about, but you
It's
know,
okay.
That's why like when like this isn't like Arab people, they're very split on this.
Right.
It's like because I know this experience, because I know like the details of it, because I've seen the damage and the death and destruction that it caused. I don't have a positive view of the Arab Spring in any sort of way.
Definitely.
Like not just Libya itself, but like Syria,
All
and
the
all
places.
those other countries.
Right.
You know, people I know might get mad at me for this, but like even with Syria, with like the new government, it's like I'm very skeptical. I don't trust them.
Because they just got a new one recently.
Yeah,
right?
I don't trust the new government just because I don't trust rebels in general because of what they did in Libya.
Right. So you're saying they should really keep an eye on them.
They should really keep an eye. You need to look at who exactly was supporting this new government.
I'm not too sure who was.
Yeah, and that's what everybody needs to see. Like I might not know myself, but like I think if you want to judge how well this government will serve your people, you need to look at who backs them.
Definitely, for sure. Yeah. Well, that's quite an interesting, like thing to think about. Like that whole situation. I only heard about it a few times. I feel like it never really got coverage or anything like that, right? So I definitely do want to become more educated on that topic. And for the next time I come, we could definitely talk about that, so I can give my opinion and what my thoughts are, right? Because I think there's so much for me to learn about this. So I definitely do want to take the time to truly learn about it.
Almost all right, let's pivot to a little bit of a lighter subject. We have a couple serious conversations lately, so I'm gonna lighten the mood a little bit. So I'd like to thank Christian for the suggestion, Christian Vanderbilt.
Wedderburn? Christian Wedderburn.
Oh.
It's okay. It's okay.
Vanderbilt.
Maybe cut that out. Nah, I'm joking.
So what, in your opinion, what's the best game series in the last 20 years?
Man, it depends how we want to take this conversation, right? We can talk about financially, influence, sheer gameplay wise, story. There's a lot of aspects, we can actually take this in. I could go off a personal favorite, or we could go off a subjective standpoint. Which way do you want me to approach this?
Let's go with your personal favorites.
My personal favorite?
We can do like a top 3 or top 5 ranking.
No, not in any order.
Okay.
I want to put the Persona franchise up there for sure, right?
All right.
Undeniably the best JRPG of all time. Seriously, right? Because Persona, the duality between both a social life and dungeon crawling is such a nice thing that players are able to enjoy. It has that balance with such intricate characters who really evoke emotions and feelings, right? With the fun gameplay that you could take in that affects the story, but helps carry the story forward. I truly believe that the game when Persona even 2 first released, it was way ahead of its time.
Yeah, 100%.
With how they really handled those things, right? And I believe that the entire Shin Megami Tensei like universe as a whole has really influenced lots of JRPGs to come, right? And so it's one of my personal favorites just for how like how much emotion those games has invoked in me. Persona 3 and 4 made me bawl my eyes out, right?
Yeah.
Especially 4. Persona 5 with the beautiful art direction and music upon all those games.
Yeah.
I think it's undeniably one of my favorite games of all time, right? And I want to hear what you have to say about Persona.
I just want to add on to that. The soundtracks are phenomenal as well.
They are phenomenal. I always find myself randomly I'm at the gym or on a walk or chilling in bed. I'm like, I could listen to the Persona soundtrack. So
I mean, it's so good. They're even making a music video now.
I know, right? That it looks crazy. Lotus Juice and the other girl.
Azumi Takahashi.
Yeah, which is quite. It's amazing. The franchise has been around for before I was even born, right? And just seeing how far Atlas has come with it, it's quite a beautiful thing.
What's your top 5 favorite songs in the series?
Ooh. Now this is where it gets spicy. And I don't have any order since it always changes, but I like Brand New Days a lot. I like I forgot the name of it, but it was from Persona 1. It was on the PSP edition.
Oh, Lone Prayer?
Yeah.
Lone Prayer
is so good, right? I really do enjoy what's the name again? Heaven from Persona 4. I know it's a cult classic, it's very popular, but it's something that the music, it carries on with the plot, talking about how Nanako is struggling with her mother, and she's in that heaven, so to speak.
Exactly.
And so I think that song is really beautiful. I also really enjoy, what else do I enjoy? All the Persona 5 combat music. The jazz.
Yeah, Takeover's my favorite one.
It's beautiful, right? Those are like some of my personal favorites of the Persona soundtrack. I also love Memories of You. And Nevermore.
You gotta shed a tear.
You gotta shed a tear, man. So those are my favorite. Those are my favorite.
Yeah,
for sure.
For me, I would go with at one and two are interchangeable for me. I would put A Way of Life and Heartbeat
Oh,
Heartbreak.
wait, those ones I completely forgot about those ones.
Persona 3 Portable has, out of like the mainline games, I feel like the entire soundtrack is just hit after hit.
It is, you know, it's definitely the most consistent.
Yeah.
And it really carries that vibe that the FMC has.
Yeah.
Unlike Makoto, who has like the depression that shows and he displays it. The FMC Koton, like she's the opposite. You know, she hides that depression.
Yeah.
She's expressive.
Yeah.
And I feel like that music really goes to show
Yeah.
it from the intro to the music that
Yeah.
plays throughout the day. And it's really disappointing how it got taken off of all streaming platforms.
Oh yeah, I had to buy those on Apple Music, bro.
I might have to do the same because, you know, those beautiful soundtracks.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
100%. What would I put at 3 though? Full Moon, Full Life. That one's so good.
New song and it's a bang.
Yeah, I think that might be my favorite Persona opening.
Really?
We should rank those up too.
We should. We actually should.
4 at number 4. I think Takeover. I think Takeover's up there.
Takeover's
pretty good. Maybe I Believe, but
Those are underrated.
yeah, I see a lot of hate for online. I'm like, there's no way.
I don't get it. Even Layer Cake, you know.
Yeah, Layer Cake's so good.
People, some people hate on it. I'm like, where's this?
Really?
Yeah, I've seen people
Bro,
hate
I
on
was listening to it on the way to school today. bro.
Literally,
Yeah.
like it's beautiful, you know. But I think that's a pretty good list, honestly.
Yeah. What would I put my 5 spot though?
5 is a hard one because all the songs are bangers. You
Yeah.
cannot deny that. It really depends on if you're just going off of sheer, listenability or just enjoyment.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's lots of aspects.
Yeah. Maybe Signs of Love.
Signs of Love is a good one. Persona 4, the whole J-pop
Yeah,
genre,
so great.
it's amazing.
I think it's my favorite one.
What would you rank the openings?
Where I rank the openings, I think I put Full Moon, Full Life at 1. I would put two's where it's hard because I already have Full Moon, Full Life at 1. I think Persona 5's original opening. That's what I
That
took.
one is amazing.
Just because it was my first game.
Also, it has a special place in your heart.
Yeah. At 3, I would either put Pursuing My True Self or P3 Fest.
Those ones are hard.
Oh wait, no! I forgot about the dancing games in Q.
I don't want to consider those. I don't want to consider those. Those ones are like that's so much, but they are really good.
If we were counting it, I would put Persona 4 Dancing opening.
Yeah, that was a banger.
And Persona Q2.
The Q game, I'm so disappointed Q2 doesn't have an English dub.
Yeah, but it needed it, bro.
It really did, but they really just pumped that game out quick.
Yeah.
I think. Oh, sorry.
Oh yeah, no, you go ahead.
No, I was just gonna give my list, but I know you're still going.
No, it's okay. I was just gonna say I really like the art style from Q2.
Q2, both of those games.
Yeah, yeah.
I love how it works. Yeah. The whole entire franchise coming together.
Yeah.
Except for 1 and 2, but Alice hates them.
They gotta remake those one day, bro.
My number 1 opening is tricky because if you consider the duology and Persona 1,
Yeah, those ones.
I truly do think Persona 1 might be one of my favorite openings, or Burn My Dread. Persona 3 was my first Persona, right?
Yeah.
And so it really holds like a special place in my heart. And if you watch like the opening, I love the art style for it, that simplicity.
The original one?
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
that
Burn My
sounds so
Dread.
good.
And so that's one I really enjoy a lot.
Yeah.
My second one, I will say, is probably Persona 4 OG.
Yeah, Pursue My True Self.
Yeah, Pursue My True Self. That one is also really good. Classic, right after Persona 3 comes out, they have that. Beautiful.
Yeah.
And then after, I'm probably gonna have to say the original Persona 5.
Yeah.
And then after Persona 2, Innocent Sin.
Oh, that one's so good.
That one's really good, right?
Lotus Juice and the
Yeah,
these
man.
other.
I think it was Yui.
It was Fuji something.
What's it?
Yeah.
I don't remember. I don't really go back so much anymore.
It was the one from Persona 3 Portable.
Yeah. That one's also really good.
Yeah.
I love that one so
Oh,
much.
yeah, Portable's open because you can flip it upside down. It's
I
the same
love that.
thing from FMC's
Exactly.
perspective.
It's such a cool detail they had.
Yeah.
I love that. I love Persona so much in the openings.
The show openings are good too.
They are.
Persona 4, the animation.
Persona 4.
some
Oh
of
my gosh, I love that entire soundtrack,
Yeah,
man.
it's so good.
I remember when I first found out that it was on Spotify. I was so happy because it's hidden in the under their profiles.
Yeah.
So I was like, wow.
It's their profile pictures too.
It is. It's like wow. Anime's so good.
Yeah.
We don't talk about the golden animes, but the original, I think, is the Persona 4, the animations.
Or did they make a one for 5? Did they make an animation for 5? I don't remember them making one.
They did. For not Royal.
I don't remember them making one for 5.
You're right.
Oh no, they gotta make that soon.
They should. They should totally and they should make sure it's Royal. You know. Yeah. But yeah,
the 3 movies were really good too.
The 3 movies are amazing. I love how they handle most of the stuff. We don't talk about the manga, but
yeah, the manga's weird.
Rough.
But the art style for the movie is probably my favorite. Out of
beautiful. Reminds me of Demon Slayer.
Yeah.
Like how like beautiful the details are. Amazing. But yeah, Persona definitely one of my favorite games, franchises. Going on from that, I want to put Silent Hill up there. From like one of my personal favorites. I think from the time that it came out, it was really it was another thing that was really influential. You know, although it had tank controls, kind of like the old Resident Evil games, which it did get its influence from, the horror that it had at its time, with the psychological horror was nothing alike at that time, right? The atmosphere, the characters, the gameplay, the music, all of it. Amazing franchise. Love their first game so much.
Yeah, 100%. Revolutionized this one.
It did. What would be your second?
Well, here's the thing. When it comes to franchises, I think I'd put Final Fantasy, but when it comes to like a specific game, I'll probably put Pokemon White 2. But to talk about Final Fantasy, I guess because we're talking about franchises, seven, like, or honestly the series in general, I do really feel like they have the best character design ever.
From what I've seen, through gameplay and pictures, I love the character design.
Yeah.
Especially Cloud.
Yeah, Cloud, Sephiroth.
They all have like, it's really expressive to how they are as characters. I love it so much.
Yeah, and also the soundtracks in those games too are pretty good.
They are good. It's amazing.
It's a lot more like I'd say ambient, like more like relating to like the setting and more like the environment.
It is, and it really helps you like immerse into that. Even if you're playing the old games, like the graphics, it helps you immerse into that setting.
It's really good. I also think like the way they approach some of the older games, it's like a funny game with like serious moments. It's like
exactly, you know,
it's a lot of fun too. Like it's one of the few games where I feel like the characters, like for the majority of it, it's a lot of like fun. They're very comedic.
It is, but when they need that time to be serious, it really does shine well.
Yeah, they transition well into it too.
And I love stories like that. You know, it has that perfect balance and it feels natural.
Yeah, like an example that's like when what was it, after Cloud falls into the life stream. The rest of the crew gets captured by Shinra and taken to an airship. And like they're about to get like thrown in a gas chamber. Tifa's about to get thrown in a gas chamber. She managed to escape through like I think it might have been a fence. My memory might be failing me here, but she gets chased. So Shinra has like they have a bunch of executives, and one of them's name is Scarlet. Right. And so Scarlet chases Tifa onto like there's a city called Junin, right? It has like a giant cannon. So she chases Tifa onto the end of the cannon. So Tifa either has to like jump off or fight back. But it isn't just like any fight. They start slapping each other, and it's like for some odd reason they let you control Tifa for this part.
I think that's awesome, you know.
It's like
those little moments.
It's like funny in a serious moment. It's really good.
They really do know how to balance that quite well.
What do you put at your 3 spot?
My 3 spot? This is where I'm gonna get more kind of subjective with it, and I want to say, crazy enough, Prime Fortnite. Because you know, Fortnite was such a moment for us as children growing up. You know, maybe it's nostalgia speaking, but it was such a fun experience to put yourself into and play those games, right? And not even that, it really did revolutionize how gaming is now. The battle passes, the microtransactions, the battle royales. So through just like a lens like that, you know, when we're viewing it like that, I do think Fortnite's definitely up there for the not only the influence, but just the amount of fun and memories that it made for us.
And also it's like it was like one of like the first games where like a huge aspect of it was that social kind of aspect where like you didn't necessarily have to have fun playing the game. It's just the fact that you're able to like talk over the mic with your friends about the game itself, like what's going on or anything in general.
Through any platform too, because we had crossplay.
Exactly.
And so that was another thing that made like Xbox and PlayStation players realize it is possible for us to
Yeah.
like coexist and play games
Yeah.
together. And I feel like Epic and Fortnite as a whole has really allowed us to push
Yeah.
in that direction for the
Yeah.
gaming industry.
Yeah.
So that's why I put Fortnite up there, not
Yeah.
only for my personal enjoyment, but just for the influence that
Yeah.
it's given us.
100%. For me, I would put the Pokemon series at 3,
That's really valid.
just because it was a huge part of my childhood. Like I still replay Pokemon White 2 to this day. I think it's my second favorite game of all time.
That's not crazy to say that, you know.
Yeah.
Like those games, like another thing that were just ahead of their time.
Yeah.
And really, another amazing JRPG franchise.
Yeah, 100%. And specifically Gen 5, they're so ahead of their time that it hurt their sales.
I know it's insane.
Yeah, it's great. Like
It's insane.
Pokemon Black 2 and White 2 are like the third like worst selling Pokemon games of all time. But
Yeah.
most people like it's kind of like a consensus say that they're seen as like the best games in the series.
Right, and it kind of sucks to see that happen.
Yeah.
You know, if they had such good sales, like I feel like we could have seen even a better direction for Pokemon.
Yeah, I wish they stuck to 2D.
Me too.
I really
I'm
feel
not
like
really
3D
feeling these
hurt.
games with the 3D
Yeah.
look. It does not feel like Pokemon.
You know Octopath Traveler.
Yeah,
I wish they did. I wish they did like HD 2D type thing.
it would have been perfect.
Yeah.
It would have been perfect. You know, I really do hope they come out with a game on Switch or whatever that goes back to that feel.
Yeah.
I'm really been missing those.
Yeah.
Those feels.
There's like a rumored Gen 5 remake. I hope they don't do what they did with Shining Diamond and Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl.
So many of those gems.
Yeah. They did like the 3D 2D type style where it's kind of like they're like 3D models but you're looking at it from a 2D
Yeah,
perspective.
it's
It just
doesn't feel right.
yeah, it doesn't feel right, and I just feel like it would have done better with that kind of like Octopath Traveler style.
Exactly, and that's how they need to handle it. You know.
Yeah.
I think Pokemon needs to step up their art direction.
100%.
and how they
They're like
handle it.
$1 billion company and they're releasing garbage games. It's
It's just
embarrassing.
Nintendo, man. That's how they
Yeah.
are. I think another thing I would put maybe 4 or 5 is Kingdom Hearts.
Kingdom Hearts so good.
You know, despite it being like a franchise for kids, I feel like adults as well can really enjoy themselves in those games. With the beautiful characters, the music, bringing together both like Final Fantasy and Disney.
Yeah.
It's such a cool like thing to see, and the
Yeah.
story is so like interesting.
Yeah.
And it's deep for a child's game. It's really deep.
100%. I think it has some of the best art direction out of any game.
It does.
It's a
It
beautiful
does.
game for its time.
From the minute you boot up the game to
Yeah.
the main menu and you start playing the game,
Yeah.
the music, the art direction, like
Yeah.
you said, it's phenomenal.
100%. What was that song that plays at the beginning?
I know which one. Dearly Beloved. And the, are we talking about the opening? Or the
Simple
menu?
and Clean.
Simple and Clean.
Simple
Yeah.
and Clean, so
I thought you were talking
I
about
love-
the menu. Simple and Clean is so awesome. Even
Yeah.
like the remix that they do
Yeah,
for the
100%,
opening.
so good.
Awesome. Classic.
Yeah.
I think. Actually, no. For you, what would be your number 4?
What would be at my number 4? I would say Deltarune and Undertale. Just because I remember more Deltarune, honestly. I don't know about Undertale. I remember like it was like maybe like 2 years after Deltarune released. I just saw I was scrolling through like the shop. I saw Deltarune, it was like free. I was like,
Yeah.
I remember my cousins like faintly mentioning it, and it's like late at night. And I remember my parents were like in the hospital for something too, and I was just by myself at the house. And I booted up, and genuinely, Chapter 1 is like one of the best experiences of my life.
It is.
Like
you know?
it was so good. Like I knew nothing about it.
And that's the best part. You didn't
Yeah.
need to know anything about Undertale.
100%.
It was definitely nice for the Undertale
Yeah.
fans at that time. I
Yeah.
remember when it first came out as like an Undertale player, I was like,
Yeah.
whoa, like
Yeah.
yo, is this a
Yeah.
sequel or what, right? And so it was something like so amazing. You know,
Yeah.
those games, especially Deltarune,
Yeah.
beautiful games.
And I feel like there's like a lot of people complaining about where the game's going. I don't see those complaints for like people saying like it feels a little bit rushed in certain areas. It's like it's pretty. It's already like double size of Undertale already. Like I feel like it was bound to have some sort of like some weaker areas. Like
That's like inevitable in most games,
Yeah.
right? You can't expect the perfection, right? And so I think it's okay. You know,
Yeah.
Deltarune, amazing franchise. It has something good going
Yeah.
for it.
what do you put your five?
My number 5, my final one, and this is where I really want to think, right? I definitely have a few on the table. It's between the original like old Call of Duty games, Resident Evil, or the Halo franchise.
Yeah. Those are good.
And I think I might put Halo. I might even bump it up just for the sheer fact that it was my first game ever
Yeah.
back when I was
Classic.
like 2 years old, right?
Yeah.
My dad introduced me to
Halo 3?
Halo 1.
Halo 1?
Halo 1 on the original Xbox. And then I played Halo 2, and then Halo 3. You know? Well, no, Halo 3 was my first, but like Halo 1 was my first really like game I got myself into.
Yeah.
And from there, I really just started to go in, right?
Yeah.
And those games, still to this day, you know, I play them. You know, they have such a special place in my heart. Growing up playing them, the multiplayer experience, the amazing story, right?
Yeah.
It's definitely up there for one of my favorite games, and also crazy influential. You know, Halo Combat Evolved, the first game, is what really revolutionized the LAN party of multiplayer and first-person shooters, right? And so I truly believe Halo 1 is up there. And moving on with that, Halo 2, it came out with Xbox Live, and that's what allowed for people to play together without LAN, but do online, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like just through those two games alone, you know, we really start to see how great of a franchise that Halo was.
Yeah.
How fun they were, you know, allow people to come together, put differences aside, and really just play the game and enjoy, right?
100%. Iconic designs. They made a show that we don't talk about.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Oh yeah.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
I think people mentioned that they're in works for making a show.
I would hope it's good. I hope,
I hope it's
Master
good.
Chief doesn't constantly take off his helmet.
I hope he isn't a man whore for like half the show.
It's quite disappointing with how that went.
Yeah.
But Halo does have the old games at least have a special place in my heart, for sure.
100%.
But where would you put number 5?
I would say Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight, it was just like, I hated the game at first. I genuinely despised the game. I open it up, I play through, I get to the crossroads, and I'm like, where am I supposed to go?
Right? Like I remember first playing, I'm like, what am I doing, bro?
Yeah.
I feel so lost. What am I? No, I dropped the game a few times before I got back into it, but when I really did, I'm like, wow, this game is actually amazing.
Yeah, like the art style, the music. City of Tears is still to this day
Beautiful.
great listen.
Like,
Walking through it too with like the
it's
singing
so
in the
nice, you
background,
know. It's
so
one of those
nice.
games that it's crazy. It's an indie game.
Yeah, it's
such a large scale and nice story.
Yeah.
And now we have Silk Song. You know, like
Song.
it's
It's beautiful.
It's amazing. It's
Yeah.
beautiful. I'm so happy for the devs. You know.
Yeah, Team Cherry, and I'm shocked they priced at $20 American. I was expecting them to make it full price. I feel like people still would have bought it full price.
They would have, but you know, they're not people who are money hungry.
Yeah.
They really do care for the love of the game and,
Yeah.
and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So the franchise is in good hands.
Yeah, 100%. Okay. Let's go. Like one or two more topics.
Yeah, we do like one more.
Okay, so I have some questions here, and I want to start with something more lighthearted, something fun. If you could live in any video game world, which would it be? And how long before you'd actually die?
I would say. What do you go with? I just want to see what direction he'll
So,
take it.
should we have something like strict going on here, like a certain like restrictions, or should it just be any game I could think of? Because if I want to, I could go for something so easy. Or should we have something where there's monsters or like certain like power systems?
What's something you want to see? That's like like not like Persona where it's just like you're living in like a regular
Yeah,
world.
but something like crazy, huh?
Like something like you know Pokemon. Final Fantasy.
Pokemon's a good one. I think that'd be really crazy to see. Oh damn, now my mind's going blank on video games. I gotta really think here with the world. You know, there's lots of crazy world building in video games.
Yeah.
I think an interesting one to be in. Do you know what Helldivers is?
Yeah, I know.
I think that would be such an interesting world
Yeah.
to be in, right? With the Super Earth, where the government, you know, it's one government controlling this whole Super Earth, you know, and they're pushing for you to constantly join the war.
Yeah.
I would not want to live in that, but I find it interesting that you know it would be interesting to see, right? I think that's a very cool thing to think of.
How about I think this would help like thinking of ideas like to modify the question. If you could be in like a video game world for like one day,
For one day, do I take everything back with me or no, or just experience it?
just like experience it, and like you won't. I guess part of the question is how long would you survive?
Okay.
But I guess we can do that.
I think one that I would really find interesting to experience is funny enough Skyrim.
We're back. There was a couple audio issues.
Little technical difficulties, but like I was saying, I think Skyrim would be a fun one to experience. You know, with the medieval magic that there is to offer.
and let's just say you could like choose whatever, see those dragons. I think that'd be such a surreal and fun experience, right?
100%.
Something like that would be so fascinating.
Yeah.
And like you said as well, Pokemon. Experiencing like capturing those Pokemon and putting them into battle or whatever. I think it's just such a fun thing.
It would be cool to see like a legendary or something.
It would. It really would be. How long would I live in Skyrim? Probably not long. Probably not long. And Pokemon? I think I could live a while.
Yeah, you could say in like a city or something.
Exactly. Like as long as you're not an idiot, I think you're fine.
Yeah, 100%.
But what about you?
I would say based. I'll separate the two categories based on like interest or how long I'd survive. I would probably say. We're back. For me, based on like pure interest, I'd want to see like the world of Final Fantasy VII. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's dragons, there's all that stuff, but like also like interact with materia and that kind of thing.
That would be actually cool.
Yeah.
I didn't really think of it like that.
Like use your own magic, that kind of thing. So that would be interesting. Based on survival, I would go Pokemon 2 for survivability. I think I could just stay in I could still interact with the Pokemon, but just like I would be in like a cave or like tall grass and
If
get
you
murked.
really want survivability, you could do like something like Stardew Valley. You know, live a calm life on the farm, you know, something like that. That's really easy for survivability.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, there's lots of games that you can really consider. And my mind's kind of going blank with them now that I think about it.
I know. What's that one game? Nintendo. You're on an island. You build. Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
Animal Crossing. I don't know why I like that. That's
That'd be such a nice experience,
Yeah.
bro. That'd be really chill. So I think that's another one I'd definitely go for. But we have one more question here that we could get into the nitty gritty of. And I believe it is, do musicians have a responsibility to be political or should they just make music?
Well, you're the music expert. Let's start with you.
I do think musicians, they don't have a responsibility to be political, but I think it's rather a choice, you know. At the end of the day, music is art and allows people to express themselves and show ideas. And if you go back into time and like see how what's the word? Conditions and situations were for certain people, music was based off of that, right? There are bands like Green Day which talk about political stuff, and I think that's perfectly fine. You know, at the end of the day, art's expressive, and everyone has that right to be expressive with freedom of speech.
Yeah.
So it's not that they have the responsibility to be political. I think it's a choice, and I think it's an okay choice if they ever do decide to.
Well, I think in my opinion, it's not even a choice. I just feel like, how are you gonna make music without it being at least slightly political? Just because it's your own beliefs, you're talking about what you believe.
Exactly, you know.
And in that sense, it's kind of like, just like inherently political.
It is, in any way you can take it, you know. There's music, even rap, you know, they talk about what they like to do, you know.
Yeah.
Although maybe it's not good, it's still political to a certain extent because they're saying what they believe and what they do. And so, I think most music, to a certain extent, it does get political.
Yeah, I mean, even on that rap note, like what was like that song that made rap big, like F the Police with NWA?
And that was a political movement.
Yeah.
And you know, that could go down as a whole own rabbit hole conversation.
Yeah.
That lots of rap music, from what I've heard and like theories, from what I've heard with the theories and stuff, rap was used to convey certain political ideas and to manipulate some like groups, like black people, right? And so music will always be political, no matter what. And that's how I see it.
It's pretty good. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you for inviting me on the podcast, man.
Yeah, you're welcome anytime, man.
I'll be seeing you on Friday.
On Friday,
sure.
man.
Play outro music.
All right, thank you very much. Peace.
Can I play outro music?
Oh, yeah. we got outro here.
Morning, students. Just a reminder here, we have
Once again, I'm back in the lab, cleaning my knives, ready for stabs. I never committed a crime I had to. Out of necessity, I don't couple. I plead guilty to Lord in the chapel. Forgiveness given cause I don't look for trouble. Instead finds me, and what I do is fight back. Never look back the past cause it hurts to think back. I pray to God cause I'm still paranoid today. Can't be back. Now it's over. Survival or the fittest, time for me to take over. I was lenient, but game's over. Mass destruction's now a slogan. Just won't do things in slow-mo, fast life.